What's going on, guys? It's Zach from AUXORO, and welcome to another one of these rooftop recordings, another video in the rooftop series. This is meant to be a podcast journal, an audio journal. These are not thought out ideas, these are thoughts, and I'm working them out in real time. I don't know exactly where this is going to go. And today I want to talk about what I learned from my car breaking down. And it's not what I expected to be talking about today. So, my girlfriend, my partner, called me yesterday. She was on a road trip. I let her borrow my car, which is an old car. It's a 2004 Infiniti. And she was about 20 minutes into her road trip. She had barely left Brooklyn, and she calls me and says the car broke down. It's just turning off in traffic. It's dead. She's pressing the gas, turning it off, turning it on. And I went to go meet her. We put more gas in the car. Still was not turning on. We refilled it, walked to the gas station multiple times. And it was Labor Day, so there were no shops open. We couldn't bring it anywhere to get it fixed. So we just sat there. We spent a large part of our Labor Day not doing what we both wanted to do. We ended up having the very frustrating problem of the car breaking down. And as anyone knows, problems with your car often take much longer to solve than what you would expect. And it turns out it was an overheating problem and a problem with the antifreeze, and I'm going to spare you guys the details, but it took about 24 hours to get this resolved, get this fixed, and ended up putting what at the time seemed like a miserable cap on what was otherwise a good Labor Day weekend. And so what I learned from this experience is take time to feel the wind. Take time to feel the wind. I'm talking about the wind, W-I-N-D. The gusts, the air. And I know that seems probably weird, that seems strange. What are you talking about? Take time to feel the wind? What the fuck does that even mean? Who are you? Why are you standing on this rooftop on this beautiful sunset? Oh, Jesus Christ, the light. Wish I looked like this all the time. What does it mean to feel the wind? When we were walking after we had parked our car on Labor Day, so this is before we brought it in to get fixed today, it's Tuesday. When we were walking, we basically parked our car in a spot overnight because we couldn't get it to budge. It was, stopping in the middle of the lane. It was just turning off. And we ended up getting into a parking spot, and then I was walking super fucking frustrated. I was thinking about the relationship. We were also talking about things with the relationship, things with life in general, and with the boiling plate of this whole fucking mess of this unplanned car breakdown, all of a sudden I just started to pay attention to the wind, and I was walking just like I am now. I'm walking and I was feeling the wind in my fingertips, and the feeling of the wind in my fingertips brought me back to this state of presence. And I was just focusing on the wind. I was feeling the wind flow through my fingertips. I was feeling the wind brush against my forearms when I walked. It was going by my face. I could feel it in my hair. And it wasn't really windy. It was just like paying attention to the subtle flow of air that I usually don't pay attention to. And I don't know why I chose to pay attention to this at the time. Maybe it was because my mind is grasping for some sense of presence, because, as you know, a problem like your car breaking down can often spiral into things that are much deeper and much more complicated and darker, and things that you don't need to be thinking about, things that aren't productive to be thinking about, that have nothing to do with the actual problem. It's just your mind goes there. We're human beings. We spiral out of control. And this wind, feeling the wind feeling the wind through my fingertips brought me back to this really sense of presence. And through that sense of presence, I started to grasp really what was going on. And what was going on was that the car was breaking down, and everything else that I was feeling or telling myself was simply a story. I was telling myself the story of the car is breaking down, and therefore I'm going to have a shitty rest of the day. The car is breaking down, and therefore, this means our relationship is breaking down, or whatever crazy thought went into my head. This car is breaking down, and therefore, this is going to affect the rest of the week or the rest of the month. This is a sign of bad karma, whatever the fuck it is. This car, everything about the situation, other than my car actually breaking down, the emotions, the frustration, the anger, the anxiety, was just it's simply a story I was telling myself. When it came down to it, having your car breaking down being the problem at the forefront of your mind is a pretty good fucking problem to have. I had my health. I have my health. I'm a healthy person. Luckily and thankfully, I do a lot to take care of my body and my mind, and I'm grateful to be in a healthy body. I have my family. I have my friends. I have a roof over my head. I'm standing on that roof right now. And other than that, everything is really extra when it comes down to it. I don't need a car, especially in somewhere like New York City and Brooklyn. A car is a luxury. Even if it is an old car, I can take the train to go wherever the fuck I want to go. I can rent a car. I can hop on a plane. I can take a cheap flight somewhere. A car is a luxury. I have a beautiful girlfriend and a beautiful partner. The car is a luxury. I have a beautiful family. The car is a luxury. I have my health. The car is a luxury. In every single situation, the car is a luxury. And the wind, feeling the wind, brought me back to that sense of presence and gave me a sense of perspective where I was like, oh, this isn't a real fucking problem. Don't get me wrong. It is a problem. In my case, it did not cost me thousands of dollars. It was still a good chunk of change to fix this problem. From what resulted from the overheating. And yes, if you have a car breakdown and it ends up being totaled or just entirely, maybe you have to replace hundreds, thousands of dollars, yes, that could be a life-changing thing, truly. But in my case, it wasn't. And the wind brought me back to that, and it feels strange to say, but I'm going to pay attention to that more in situations where I'm stressed out, especially when I'm telling myself a story in my head that does not match the actual reality. I realized that the frustration, the anger, the anxiety was coming from the way that I was framing the situation, the way that I was thinking about it, what I was telling myself. And just feeling the wind led to me feeling other sensations in my body. It led to me feeling my heartbeat, my rising heartbeat, because I was feeling stressed out, and recognizing that helped it dissipate. My throat closing up, recognizing that helped my throat relax. My thoughts, these dumb thoughts that I was having about the future of the relationship or the future of whatever, basing that off of a highly stressful situation where your car breaks down. It's not good to make decisions, and it's not good to think too far ahead with things like that. And the feeling of the senses, the tapping into the sense of touch for me helped bring me back to the moment. It helped bring me back to the present moment, and it made my problems seem much more manageable and only helped me solve it quicker. Everything else that I was thinking about, all the stories, the thoughts that I was letting run wild were only delaying the problem, because I wasn't thinking about actually solving the problem, which was, how can I get my fucking car to work? And that's that. It wasn't that big of a problem, and I'm gonna look to think about that more in the future. When I am feeling stressed out, when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling tired or sad or whatever, when I'm in a negative state of mind, or whatever that state is, how can I tap into my sense of touch? How can I feel things? How can I completely lose myself in a sensation? Whether it's, I love the Sam Harris Waking Up app, where you stare into the back of your eyelids and you look at the darkness, like you're looking off into the distance, or you're feeling the wind in between your fingertips, or you're listening to a sound. I hear church bells in the distance right now. I hear trains passing by. I'm thinking about recording this video, which is making me feel incredibly present, because if I start worrying about things I have to do later, I'm not going to be able to have words come out of my mouth. And so I hope this helps you in some small way. What I learned from my car breaking down is take the time to feel the wind. Take the time to tap into your senses. Sensations are the path back to the present moment, and the path back to the present moment leads to a better perspective, and that perspective will lead to less stress, less anxiety, less frustration, and then it's a perpetuating cycle. If you can live, the more I can live in that cycle, the more you can live in that cycle, the more we as a community can live in that cycle of presence, the happier we will be, the kinder we will treat each other, and the more fulfilling life is, because it's life. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace!